Welcome. You are now listening to Click Click Play. Please enjoy.
Fight!
Hello! Welcome to Click Click Play 94. This is an official Click Click Play. As I don't know, it's weird. Today I thought it'd be kind of cool to do, the odd midweek one. If there's some like news coming out. Because I was listening to the Brexit Cast. Jordan, have you ever listened to the Brexit Cast by the BBC? Oh, you muted yourself. Here we go. Professional as always, only 94 episodes in. Nope, still nothing. Still nothing. He's oh bloody hell, I've been watching the Brexit cast alright, have I? Oh bloody hell, I've been shagging them sheep and celebrating the Grand Slam and bloody hell. Oh, I've been down Barry Way and now hello.
Am I here now?
You're here now, yes, we can hear you.
Without boring everybody, the go-to meeting format has changed. I don't know if it's changed for you.
Oh, no, nothing's changed for me. Oh, you're on the web, aren't you? You should get the software. It's a lot more reliable.
Nah. Oh well, based on what we're about to talk about, that's not the case. We're going to talk about playing fucking high-end video games through the web. But anyway, I digress. No, yeah. I've never listened to the Brexit cast.
Well, they do.
Damn you for listening to it.
They did a special one because of the drama that happened yesterday. I mean, there's drama every day, but yesterday there was some extra drama, so they did a special one. I thought, oh, cool to just do, every now and again do the odd like 30-minute podcast based on if something breaking happens, so we stay ahead of the trend because we don't want to be uncool and like behind the curve. Is that what it's called? Yeah, that's what the young people say. Yeah. Oh, but
we kind of do it. We kind of do it for Nintendo. Well, talking about that, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, so maybe we'll need to do it tomorrow. But yeah, we tend to do it anyway, don't we, for the conferences and things?
Yeah,
which this is, I guess.
State of the game is tomorrow as well. Division, letting us know the state of the game. State, it's pretty good.
We know because we play it.
Yeah, we know the state, but it's like what's going to come out. Maybe they'll give us some info about World Tier 5.
Less of a state now that they're giving me my powers back. I can tell you that.
Oh god, yeah. I didn't.
issue for me that.
I had zero issue. I didn't notice it at all, and then the second they mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, I noticed. I can't use a single one of my. I wonder why it kept disappearing. But yeah, I thought it was like I was getting shot by something.
I just thought it was like some kind of perk of not perk, but some kind of glitch in the engine. Because I was putting down my turret, which is really helpful, and it would just disappear sometimes. And I'm like, maybe I just put it in a dodgy spot, and the game is clever enough to say, okay, I'm going to give it back to you and only give you a 15-second timer. Then eventually I was like, I'm just never able to use this turret, and it's making life really, really fucking difficult for a solo player in Division.
Yeah,
anyway, let's not talk about Division.
No, but this is a special Division podcast that we're having.
No, I bet chat's going to hate that.
No, Zach will say Zach and Andinis. I think they're up for that. But no, this Sunday I imagine we'll be talking a lot about that and Sekiro as well out on Friday. However, this is a special podcast. I'm Biggest Benders, by the way. This one over there is the Jordan Reese. And oh, by the way, if the stream disappears, touch wood, it won't. For about 30 minutes ago, we were just chilling. I was watching a bit of the Giant Bomb coverage of the what's it called again? Stadia thing.
Stadia, yeah.
And I got an instant blue screen and the computer turned off. And then then it like relaunched itself into the safe mode, whatever, and said that I'll tell you what it said. It was freaking terrifying. I thought, oh Christ. It said ROM image is not loaded. ROM image denied. And I was like, oh fuck.
So I've got a theory.
Yeah.
ROM is a boss in Bloodborne.
Oh. So Bloodborne's coming to Stadia.
Bloodborne coming to PC, confirmed.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I kind of like had a little worry and panic then, and just turned it off and back on again, and it's back up. So if it suddenly disappears, I'm guessing Mr. Blue Screen's back again.
Yeah. I've spent the afternoon putting some flat pack furniture together.
Whole Rose Little. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very, very manly.
New like TV stand thing because I dropped a big fat PS3 on my old TV stand and it took it like it literally broke it. It broke through it. And I'm really not sure how it didn't destroy my TV, because if you look at the hole, it's like a centimeter away from the TV. So I'm just lucky that it didn't destroy my lovely TV. So I thought I'd buy a new stand. So I've been spending all afternoon putting that together, which is now done.
Very nice. You can. What have you done with the PS3? Do you keep it behind the door in case you get any intruders? Just crack someone over the head.
No, I've got them all on display behind me. I've even got a pocket station now.
Oh well. People buy any old shit, as they say. Or Ben just clicks any old site. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, maybe I should run a virus scanner actually. Okay, anyway, well, we're here to talk about the Google Stavia. Yeah, Google Stavia. Stadia. That's what the posh bit. Stadia, mate. Stadia. Look at the Stadia. Yeah. Look at Stadia.
Stadia.
Stavia. Google Stavia, and they've got an awful looking controller.
That's all right.
It's
you can use your own anyway.
Yeah, that's thank God. The D-pad looks a bit weird.
Very hard to get a good D-pad these days. We know that.
Yeah. And interesting color scheme. I used to have a phone a bit like it was a Sony Walkman phone that kind of swiveled, and that was orange and white. Is it always yours orange and white as well?
No, mine was orange and black.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't have that one. So yeah,
I dropped that in the shower.
Did you? Did it still work?
No.
No, back in those days you couldn't really breathe on it.
You get the slightest bit of ice showed you fucked.
Yeah, little dust went up in. It was gone.
Yeah. All right. Seaman never worked again.
Well, Valid says, I know Ben because thank you, Valid. No, we can say we are all talking about chat. Yeah, Gtro, all roads lead to ROM. The Sony Vaio is back. In Google form. Yeah, that pretty much is. And they've got a capture button. What is it with these share and capture buttons on controllers nowadays?
I did like when they introduced that as a new button. I was like, well...
I'm pretty sure Switch has one.
And the PlayStation 4 has had one for like 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. It'll always be start and select to me.
Indeed.
All right. So what is this, Jordan? What is this, the Google Stavia?
Stadia. I think it's a really cool name to start with. Because it's like... I guess that's like Latin for stadium or something.
Isn't it plural of stadium?
Is it?
Yeah, I believe.
Is it like referenda?
Yeah,
referendums.
I loved it when they gave the presentation. They were like, "We're going to give the history of games, not video games, the history of playing games." And then there was a picture of like a couple of cavemen with a stick or something. I was like, "Oh God!"
Having sticks up their ass.
Yeah, it's come all the way to here.
Yes.
Yeah. What if the first ever game was a sex game? It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It went really. It was kind of cool. A very slick presentation, which wasn't very cheesy, which I quite liked, except for that one dude with a leather jacket.
Yeah. There's one dude who was dodgy. No, I honestly, like they've really impressed me with this.
Yeah. So should we say what it is?
Yeah. So Stadia is the long rumored Google game streaming service. So it's essentially, in a nutshell, their whole ethos of this conference and their kind of vision, I guess, in terms of how they'll introduce gaming to the business is the console is dead. I think they were very clear about that. They said that multiple times. Hardware is dead. And moving forwards, they'll be pushing web-based cloud computing, which obviously we already have. You can do it with PlayStation Now. It's very obvious. We'll talk about Microsoft in a bit because I've got some stuff to say about that. But obviously Microsoft is going that direction as well in terms of kind of spreading their service around different devices and streaming, that kind of stuff. But it sounds like Google, Alphabet, YouTube, however you want to frame them, they are going hard on web-based gaming. But yeah, I was super impressed by it. The thing is with Google, they've got so much money, and the business strategy has always kind of been we'll just try things and have a go, and if it takes off, happy days. If it doesn't, no worries. But at least, if something's successful, then you've got another YouTube, or you've got another successful platform. So I was really worried that this would be a bit of a kind of half-baked effort from them, which really isn't what we need in the streaming space, because you've already kind of had that with OnLive, with Sony, with PlayStation Now.
OnLive, that was the day.
Obviously, we haven't seen how Microsoft stuff will look, and I imagine they'll be more competent. But if anybody's going to do this stuff right, it's Google. But I was worried that, like I said, with it being gaming, are they really going to be taking it that seriously? The impression I got from this conference is that they take this deadly seriously.
Yeah.
And it kind of made a lot of sense to me from what they were saying. I see this as a way of them to undercut Twitch, which is a weird thing for me to say while I'm streaming on Twitch. But I got they talked a lot about gamers streaming on YouTube. Obviously, I don't know a hell of a lot about streaming. You'll know a lot more than me, but my understanding is that
you have to be
YouTube...
racist to stream on YouTube, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
or a misogynist. Both
Okay.
both you get right to the top. You get all the views.
Yeah. Well, I flirt with both of those, so I love them. but yeah, it definitely felt like this is their way to kind of make YouTube a gaming platform, and the way that they've integrated into this stuff is pretty fucking crazy. Like they showed one part where a streamer was playing a video game. Somebody basically just pressed a button on the video, so some kind of annotation on the video. Within 5 seconds, they were playing that game. Which is crazy. Have you ever streamed a game, Ben?
Oh, like yeah, like as in I play a game that I've streamed.
No. Have you ever played a game via a streaming cloud service like PS Now or anything like that?
I've played Flash games, if that counts.
Not really.
No, I haven't then. I played that dinosaur one, the jumping the dinosaur over the cactus.
So just because you're playing a Flash game doesn't mean you're streaming it.
No, that's true.
You know,
well, have I played a game on like a streaming game though? I don't think I have. No, because no,
You've never tried PS Now.
No, because I looked at the price of PS Now and thought, no, that's not worth it.
You can have a free trial though if you want to.
Isn't it like 7 days or something?
I don't know. Again, it's definitely not worth the asking price. They haven't got that stuff right. But regardless, I'll always remember my first time doing it. Like I had a shitty connection anyway, so it was kind of touch and go whether it would work. But it was on. It's a really magical thing. Like when you think about how long it takes us now to kind of download games. I've got a really good internet connection now. It still takes me like 20 minutes to download a 50 gig game or whatever.
Whole 20 minutes, Jesus. I remember when it used to be 12, at least 12 hours. Yeah.
Like in my where I used to live, I've probably told the story on the cast before. The first downloadable game that I ever got for like a console, so not Steam or anything, was GTA 5. And it was kind of early days for PS3 in terms of actual offering kind of full-blown downloadable games. It preloaded. It took all night to download. Went to play it. Obviously, super excited. Day off work a lot. Went to play it. File corrupt. And then I look online and like there's just loads of people with issues with it. So now I'd be like, okay, I'll re-download that. Then it was like, well, I ain't playing that for 10 hours, which is obviously a big problem. I ended up buying it physical. But regardless, my point was, I have tried PS Now, and even though that service is a little bit, iffy, bad pricing,
now
like
you can download it though.
Yeah, so the download stuff is good, but in terms of kind of streaming the game, which obviously comes with its own advantages and forward thinking, you won't need a powerful PC and all that kind of stuff. There is a magic to seeing a catalog of games, choosing one that you want to play, and instead of it being, well, first of all, you're not paying for any, you're not kind of having to put your card details in or anything, because obviously you're paying for a service. But technically, you literally press that button, and even with PS Now, which is, I imagine, really inefficient, within 10 seconds, you're seeing the boot screen. You're seeing, Sony Computer Entertainment or whatever it is pop up, and you're playing that game. And it's such a weird, magical thing. And I imagine with the might of kind of Google and their servers and all that kind of stuff, Digital Foundry have already done a piece on this. They're extremely impressed.
Yeah, I've heard because they did it over. This was like the thing that they brought up a lot in the conference, was that they used Assassin's Creed Origins as kind of a base for this, and they trialed it out with quite a lot of people. And I've heard nothing but really positive stuff about that. Like it was running so smoothly, 60 FPS at 1080p. It's just and like being able to play that on anything. I love that in the Stavia, I'm gonna call it the Stavia presentation, they were just like, hey, look, you can even play it on a Google Chromebook. Look at this piece of shit. You can play it on this trash computer that we've got here. You can play it on anything at all. It was like their own hardware.
So as long as you've got access to a Chrome browser, you're pretty much good with it. So it's really versatile. Downsides to it, I don't know how well it's gonna run on poorer connections, internet connections, that kind of stuff, latency, ping, all those shitty things that we worry about with online gaming. But again, if anybody's going to get this stuff right, and I can't imagine they're going to get it right for everybody from the start, but in terms of getting a decent service to people with decent internet connections, it seems like Google are going to be the people that do it.
I've
It's
heard
coming out this year.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people suggesting that it's to do with 5G, that it's going to be this and 5G are going to go hand in hand. Like it's going to come out, because isn't 5G due out later this year, or it's in the works or something? And
I'm
they
hearing
think
some talk about it, yeah.
because a lot of people in the US, especially, have the data caps, and they've got shitty connection in the middle of nowhere, Texas or New Mexico. Sorry, Zach, but like people with really bad internet like that, this is going to be for people who are, I imagine 5G. It'll be. I wonder. It wouldn't surprise me if they had some kind of service, where you pay for this and you pay for this 5G dongle or whatever, and you get unlimited access to this, or I don't know. I can definitely imagine something related to that and 5G. Being able to play it on your phone seems an interesting prospect, especially. Yeah, I wonder if there'll be some kind of connection, because the controller that they've released, very kind of flat on the top. I wonder if there'll be some kind of connector that you can connect to your mobile phone and that be able to play on there. That'd be kind of cool. So
the kind of the internet quality that they're saying you need, 15 meg down, which I think most people will have at this point. Latency below 40 milliseconds.
Yeah, because Zach says thinks it'll be 60 plus, but no, 40, less than 40.
And then data loss below 5%. I don't really know what that represents, because I don't think we necessarily measure it on a daily basis, but certainly 15 megabytes down and 40 ping sounds okay.
Yeah,
I think that seems fairly achievable. Did you get your head around what they were trying to say with the controller? They seem to be really big in that up, as it connects. I think that connects directly to the service. So I think people that are serious about this will get the controller, and then you can use that controller to, the way I'm imagining it, you've got the controller, that's the thing that's connected to the service, and then that casts to the device that you want to use, i.e. your television, your Chromecast, whatever else.
Yeah, I gotta say, around it when they introduced the controller, that's when I wasn't really watching, because I was doing this while my students were taking an exam. So I was shout out to the person doing the closed captions, because they were really fast and they were accurate, because it wasn't like automated captions where they're all like, my dog Rover eats fish sticks, and no, it was like real what the guy was saying, just like with about a 5-second delay. So shout out to that. So I kind of got everything up to the controller, which I mean, after seeing what their prototype was, or their patent, this seems a lot better, but I don't know. It doesn't really inspire me. It's not like
you don't
this
have to use that
thing.
controller. You can use your DualShock. You can use your Xbox Pad. It sounds like they want it to be a nice open platform. And on that note, they talked about crossplay straight away, which got a really good reaction from the crowd. Again, making Sony look silly for not really embracing that stuff, even though they're starting to turn a corner on it. The fact that they're not there, they're really getting left behind with that stuff.
So it's like a whole new platform. It's not PC, is it?
No, absolutely. It's anything that you can access Chrome on.
So
essentially, and like I alluded to earlier, if I was Microsoft watching this one, I think those are the guys that should be worried. Nintendo's Nintendo. They're going to crack on doing whatever they want. They've got some shitty 720p VR coming up later in the year, so they'll just crack on with
cardboard VR.
Putting your face on a duck's ass. So they'll be fine with that market. PlayStation right now, as much as they've dabbled with the streaming service, and they probably don't get enough credit for kind of pioneering a little bit in the console space with that stuff.
Yeah.
They seem to be going the more traditional kind of console route currently, and I think probably for the next generation as well, which is probably the right move for them. Let other people kind of scope this stuff out and then move in, or get left behind either way.
Yeah, who knows what'll happen.
This conference to me very much felt like, if you had replaced the branding and some of the words with Microsoft and Xbox, this kind of feels like what I imagined E3 was going to be like for Xbox. I think they probably hit a lot of the notes that Xbox were hoping to hit, and Google can probably back it up a little bit more than Microsoft as well, because this is really their thing, in terms of data centers and managing capacity and all that kind of stuff.
Did they want that though, or don't Xbox want the kind of thing where you still have a box and you download it, or is there going to be because they're not releasing a box where it's just streaming only, is it? There's one that's digital only, where you can, like, you get the Game Pass and you're able to download it, but the PCs, your console still does the hard work.
Yeah, so we haven't seen kind of the next generation of hardware from Xbox, but certainly they're going to release a digital only, which is kind of one step into a kind of a digital future where you do still download games to your hard drive and kind of play them that way, but it's moving away completely from physical media. But the impression that I get from Xbox when they talk about across all devices, and they've hinted at their streaming service and all that kind of stuff, to me it feels like they're trying to fill the same market that Google have just come in and said, actually, we're going to own it, and we're going to own it this year.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it'll be like Netflix where you kind of look at I've got these games, then you just end up playing FIFA or some kind of, just end up playing some trash. Zach says, like, I bet Google Glass will be more popular, but there is an audience for this. Those guys who use their PSPs to play console games and other casuals who don't care about, like, I mean, Zach does say an interesting thing there. I mean, I can't believe the amount of people that still use their Vitas and stuff. There was a topic on the Division 2 subreddit with somebody saying, hey, will there be Vita controls like they were for the first Division? Like, wait, what? Because it's like, oh, they were great, they used it really well, and yeah, went on about how great the Vita controls were, and I was thinking, okay, so people still do that. But I honestly think I've seen so many people say how trashy it is. I was looking at the games, I was looking at the game subreddit. Usually they're quite nuanced, they're usually a bit of intelligent people in not gaming, but in games. And the amount of people like going, oh, this is trash. Who wants this? I was like, it's not aimed at those people. It's not aimed at gamers. It's not aimed for, if you've got a gaming PC, this isn't aimed at you. If you've got a console like a PS4 or an Xbox, not aimed at you. This is aimed at people who don't really have the money, the resources, or whatever to own a gaming PC.
I think it's kind of aimed at those people as well, though. Like, if you look at what they did on stage, they got they got id Software out there to talk about Doom, and they said, this thing is going to launch 4K 60 frames a second. And then they started talking about 8K as well, which strikes me as one of those things we'll look back on in 5 years at a conference and go, didn't quite get to that 8K streaming, did you? But certainly, like I don't understand mega flops and all that bullshit, but the way that they talk about this, and Digital Foundry backed it up, is this service has the kind of the pixel pushing power that equates to a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One combined.
Yeah, but people who have those consoles are not necessarily going to sign up for this unless it's a decent streaming. Not in the short term.
I don't see them signing up for it this year. Absolutely not. I don't see many people necessarily signing up for it this year. But I think it's hard to understate, like, whether it works out or not. Who knows? Google have failed at other things. They tried to take on Facebook. They failed. They tried to take on Twitter. They failed. That kind of stuff. But this conference, and the reason I was really impressed by it, was the scope of the vision of it. And they really came in and said something, and it might not be what a lot of people want to hear in terms of consoles going away. Like, I don't want to hear that. I love my consoles and stuff, but I think we know that this feature is coming. And like I said, when you try it and when you browse a catalog of games and you press a button and it instantly works, that is a really fucking revolutionary feeling. And if they can instill that in people, I think they'll do well. The fact that the trial that they did with Assassin's Creed worked really well. That isn't some kiddie game. That isn't them running Minecraft or something. That was a full-blown Assassin's Creed game.
Minecraft.
There's nothing wrong with it, but that's the kind of thing you'd expect them to kind of do. They're talking full-fledged games, and they're talking a big game about how the development side of it as well. Like, I didn't understand a lot of the technical detail, but a really interesting point was they talked about how developers often talk about how they are bottlenecked by the hardware, and therefore they have to scope their creative vision to the hardware that they're dealing with, or the lowest common denominator, that kind of thing, especially in the console market. And they talked about, actually, based on the service that we'll provide, the technical grunt will upscale with you. So therefore your basically the hardware will scale to your vision. You won't need to worry about that anymore, which could be hyperbole, but again, it was just a really forward thinking and for me kind of revolutionary concept that they were talking about. Whether or not they can land it, but I think the exciting thing is that if anybody has the resources and the know-how, it's Google.
It'd be interesting to see whether people would say, okay, you've got a GTX 970, you can run this game on low settings if you buy it, or you can stream it and you get like 4K 60 FPS at ultra settings. I wonder if what would you prefer? Well, you'd probably just upgrade your PC, wouldn't you? But it'd be interesting to see what other people would do. Whether this
again in the short term, this probably isn't for me. I probably would keep on the hardware side of things, but I definitely think in 10 years or so,
Mm.
we'll turn a corner on this stuff, and this will just be the way. There's too many benefits to it.
Yeah.
In terms of not having to wait for downloads, in terms of not having to upgrade your hardware, playing on multiple devices, the whole weirdness. And we've talked a lot recently about, the console space at the moment, the weirdness of how similar an Xbox One and a PS4 actually are, but then they're completely incompatible with each other as well. I think that stuff is getting towards the end of its life. And we're going to see services come in. So you'll probably will have, Stadia, Microsoft will be in that space, Sony will be in that space. I don't think they can all stay in that space. I think, there probably won't be enough room for all of them.
But Zach says, I mean, as long as they advertise to the right people, this could have longevity. But it seems to be trying to appeal to the hardcore instead.
I think they needed to show that, like I said, this isn't just for kind of small scale games, that they can actually do big AAA titles and do them well. And they've shown that they can. Not for everybody, because not everybody's going to have the connection for it and whatever else. But for a certain segment of the market, they can do it. And I guess the thing is with Google, that they've got their toe in the water of actually providing the infrastructure of the internet as well. Laying fiber and stuff like that. So they have a hand in actually delivering good connection speeds to people. To certain parts of the world at least. So they're invested in that.
Wasn't Google trying at one point to put satellites around so everybody had access to 3G or 4G or 5G? I'm not sure it was. Or they wanted internet like all around the world. They were trying to put satellites up. I think they didn't do that. And also, I mean, this was kind of, it looked like it was appealing to the hardcore, but it was at the GDC, the Game Developer Conference. So there was lots of stuff about developers and aiming for developers. They even said that they had first party studios. Or they were going to have a first party studio. Do you think that's going to be a new one, or do you think they're going to buy a studio?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they have already. I haven't really kept up with the acquisitions for these guys, and Amazon as well is another player that's clearly going to be in this market. I'm not sure, but again, they've got plenty of money to go around. If they feel that it's worth having first parties, then they could. But my impression was that actually, like I said, this will be a very open platform. I would assume that they'd rather lean heavily on those second and third party relationships, at least initially. And if they're the only ones that are really doing this thing and it really takes off, it won't matter about first parties, because all the third parties will want to come to them anyway.
Yeah, it seems like Ubisoft are in there.
Yeah.
So see what's his name? Yves? How do you pronounce it? Yves. The crazy, the crazy kind of the crazy. I think he's the founder of Ubisoft.
Okay.
He was wearing a nice Division jacket, or I think a Division t-shirt underneath a suit jacket. It was. I want that t-shirt. Yeah, he was the French. He's really happy in French. Must be French Canadian. Something. Yeah. I mean, no. Is Ubisoft French or is it French Canadian? I think it's French.
I think it's French.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah.
Good. Yeah. And he just says he's excited about game streaming. I know, I'll just follow along, whatever's popular and whatever, can make me enjoy games. As long as I can play games, the best quality, I'm happy.
Well, they kind of had three main kind of thrusts to this, didn't they? They had the gamer, so that'll be me, somebody that just wants to play good games. They talked about the developers, hence why having kind of Ubisoft on stage. I got a sense that there were a lot of developers in that crowd as well, based on the stuff that they cheered for. But another key point was the streaming community. And again, this takes me back to the fact that I think they see this as their way to overcome Amazon and overcome Twitch, but also make streaming something even bigger than it is at the moment. They talked about at one point, we'll be streaming this to you in 4K, but it's also being recorded in 4K 60 frames a second as well, and being uploaded to your library.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really fucking serious task.
Thing is that if you go to youtube.com, like, they need to sort out their gaming stuff. At the moment, you go to youtube.com, nothing on the front page that says anything about gaming. You have to scroll down to underneath YouTube Premium, underneath YouTube Movies, it just says gaming. Or you click on the 9 little squares and it comes up with YouTube Gaming, and then it comes up. Now it says, now it's going away soon. It's interesting. Our gaming app is going away soon, but you can still find all your favorite gaming videos in one place.
I've got to assume that they're totally realigning to this Stadia stuff. There'll just be a relaunch at some point.
There's definitely, it sounds like they're just like this youtube.com/gaming that looks like just a normal YouTube channel Yeah, I mean, it's a massive mess at the moment on YouTube Gaming. I hope they do sort it out, and maybe I'll do a few streams. Maybe we can, if they relaunch it, we could do a click play on there. Most of the YouTube streamers that stream on YouTube Gaming are switching to Twitch, says Andinis. I know a lot of them are switching to Facebook because Facebook are like, just, hey, come over here, we'll give you money. So
I didn't even know Facebook were in that market.
Oh god, I keep getting adverts all the time now on Facebook. Yeah, but there's some like big streamers that have been paid by Facebook, like given a salary and said, hey, we'll pay you this salary if you come over to Facebook. You know, you don't have to worry about donations and all this stuff. We'll actually give you this to join us. Which they've kind of like gone, well, yeah, sure. And then they get promoted a lot and they've got, thousands of views. It's not something I've ever seen on, I've ever looked at on Facebook, but it's a thing. But I can't see, maybe it will replace Twitch at some point. Twitch seems to be constantly bringing out new features though to keep people interested. And
it makes total sense that whoever the people are that are providing, let's assume that, like I said, in 10 years, the streaming model actually replaces the download games model. Makes total sense that the provider of that service would be the one to be capturing and streaming out your content as well, I would assume.
I don't know. It depends if they can bring as much novelty features because that's what they like. They like novelty features, making it. I mean, Twitch has got such a lot of experience behind it. Yeah, you can copy it and stuff, but I don't know. I think it'll take a lot for people to switch over, especially when they've built communities and bases on Twitch. Also, like, do you think it would replace it? I think I would only ever switch over to it if that was like where everything was going. If everybody was streaming, like the best games were streaming, and then maybe coming to, you can get it physically, or you can get the physical version, and it wasn't quite as good quality, or it came even later than the streaming one. Because that it wouldn't surprise me, like EA are doing. I think it was, what was the game that? Anthem, that came out earlier. If you downloaded it from their service, whereas if you bought the full game, it came out a week later. So maybe this kind of streaming service is going to be the future, and they're going to promote. They're going to be like, hey, if you got our streaming service, you can play this game a week earlier on the streaming.
I'll go on record right now and say that absolutely this type of streaming stuff is the future. Whether it's Stadia, whether it's xCloud, whether it's something that Amazon does, or whoever it is that steps in. I don't think Sony are competent enough to do it. This is absolutely the future of gaming. The only question is when. In the same way that the digital video game markets are replacing physical sales more so by the day, the next step will be this streaming stuff.
Do you think they'll all release?
Absolutely guaranteed. There's no question for me.
I was going to say, do you think they'll all release separate ones? Like, but then Uplay is going. Sorry, yeah. Well, Ubisoft seems to be going with this Stadia. Will EA bring out their own one? Will Microsoft bring out their own one? Will Sony bring out their own one? Is it going to be one of those where you're just like, oh, well, which? And we're not going to buy a subscription to everything, so.
Yeah, well, it'll probably look, similar to how Netflix looks now. You've got Netflix, you got Amazon Prime, Hulu, all that kind of stuff.
HBO,
I assume it'll look like that. You'll have your dominant player, i.e. Netflix, and then other ones. But in the same way that it's fairly difficult to get a competent video streaming service up, that shit costs money and technical prowess to do it properly. This is a completely different undertaking. Again, at the end of the day, there's still hardware involved. It's just on their side.
Yeah,
so there's a cost there. And it just, from a lot, so much of this technical stuff just went over my head, but it just seemed like they really had this shit locked. They knew exactly what they were doing with it to get the most out of it. And they're talking about massive performance gains over the current gen improved consoles.
Yeah. Would you prefer that if you had the option to either download a purchased copy, or you could play it? Let's say it was only in 1080p, or you could get a 4K by streaming it at 60 FPS. Which would you prefer?
It comes down to that latency question. Yeah. And so do I get the same performance? My thought is that obviously that stuff will improve, but if this gains enough momentum, then you start to see, whereas now games are designed for you to have those files locally on your system. So therefore, there's very small latency. I assume the games will start to get designed with more this kind of stuff in mind. So you might not see as much kind of, Twitch shooters and stuff like that. Maybe that'll need to stay kind of local.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, JRPGs would be a classic example. They're so easy to play on streaming services because they're not full of kind of Twitch controls and stuff like that. Anything where you don't need a really high level of kind of accuracy, I guess. And obviously that stuff will kind of improve over time. But I guess my point is that even if it doesn't improve to the point where it becomes indistinguishable, I think you'll start to see developers catering towards it, so you can't tell the difference anyway in terms of the actual mechanics of their games.
An interesting future.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Just deal with it. Anybody that's whinging about it and says they don't want it, like I said, it's a matter of time, not if. It's just when.
Latency won't be an issue. It's like they were surprised. The game isn't getting they're improving all the time with latency. I mean, it's not the same, but wasn't it the VR? I think they looked at doing VR headsets without wires, and they're just like stunned at how they were expecting. They needed it to be below whatever needed to be below like 6 milliseconds. I don't know, and it's like a random number, but instead it was like a 20th of that. Like the latency, it was so small. So obviously it's not the same thing as with latency online and stuff, but the technology will just improve and improve.
So I've also seen at GDC this year what's the Oculus that's completely wireless? Oculus something.
Go.
Is it Go?
Or is it the Go, the one that you don't need a PC for? Maybe.
Yeah, it's like not even wireless. It's like, so I saw somebody playing Beat Saber on one of those, and there's no PC connected to it. Like, I've got a wireless headset. You can do that already. But obviously you still got something which is, for VR, you're having to render 2 images to combine.
Oh, is it Oculus Quest? Sorry, Oculus Quest.
That's the one, yeah. And yeah, somebody just playing Beat Saber, and they said it was great. So and that isn't the most intensive game, but just as an experience, that's incredible to think you just put the headset on. I'm not even sure how that works. So the headset didn't look that big; it looked like a normal Oculus. So
how much does it cost?
I don't know.
I want one.
I don't know. I never paid attention until I saw that.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that can hit the mass market. I feel like VR has kind of died a death a little. Just because it's so cumbersome and expensive still.
So something like this will just go, you can take this to work, you take it somewhere and show people.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah. The first thing that people are looking at is price. What is the price? I mean, it looks, oh god, it wants me. Yeah, I'm not turn off my ad blocker, so I can't see. Hey, no, mate, I need someone to be the captain of my crew, on my bridge crew. In the have you played the Star Wars yet?
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, Star Trek. Same thing.
Yeah, I played it with the Don the other day when he came over.
Any good?
He loves it.
Yeah.
Nerdy as fuck, Ben. You wouldn't believe it. He's there waiting for people to join. Obviously, no one's joining it because there's a dead game. And then when people do join, he's there giving orders and stuff.
No.
Telling them to increase the shields and all this nonsense. Just absolute nerd. Absolute fucking nerd.
Brilliant. Oh, well. Looking forward to...
Hi, Don.
I'll have to join in. There's a Star Trek game? No, Andy, just move on. I think I've upset people with that. All right, well, thank you very much, John. This is our little bite-size click play just for this. It'd be interesting to turn back, and look at this in 2 or 3 years, see what, we were all there, being naive and, it's the future and stuff. Maybe we'll see in the future when we're all just subscribed to the Google Premium, what are they going to call this? Google Premium streaming service. What do we call
Stadia, it? Ben. It's called Stadia.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Stadia Games. Stadia Library. I don't know what it would be. Stadia subscription. Stavia. All right. Well, thank you very much to Jordan. And we'll be back on Sunday with a full-size podcast looking at Division 2, Shakira, and what's the other one? Any other games? Sekiro. Oh, baby, when you die like that. So that'll be on Sunday. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.